Hey guys, welcome to a review of the second session of our latest multiplayer game. Well, I know I promised that I will upload all the sessions and an episode before the session in which I wanted to discover all the plans for the upcoming session, but then a lot of stuff that I really didn't want to show happened during the session, and there was a lot of discussion. Mostly about the rules. We also have a lot of new guys and they're not really familiar with some of our rules. But then I was really disappointed by some of our regular players because they don't really behave properly, and I took some measures to ensure that that doesn't happen anymore. I think we should all just enjoy the game. But anyway, so I'll be going through what exactly happened during the previous session. This current screen is before the session started because I don't want to spoil anything. If you still want to watch everything, there is on Gaku's channel and TJ's channel. I will link those two below so you can see what happened from Austrian and Dutch perspective. Also, I feel like I need to explain some things that I didn't really have time to explain during the game. And also, my mic is just terrible, so if I record on if I'm streaming, you probably can't hear me well, and even, I wasn't really aware of that, but even the people on TeamSpeak can really hear me, like, really bad. It's really hard to understand what I'm talking on TeamSpeak. I really can't explain why, but the editing that I do when I record in offline mode improves my mic a lot. Even with that editing, my mic is still kind of crap, but it's much better. Just you'll have to believe me on that one. Anyway, so once again, spoiler alert: if you want to watch all of the session, just go to Gaku's or TJ's channel. I'll link those two below. Anyway, we were here in 1845, and things really looked grim for me. We did manage to win a second war against Austria and Russia with help of Germany, and I was hoping that Germany would now ally me and help against Austria. Basically, I would take Lombardy and Venice as my course. Germany would take Bohemia, which I don't really like as an idea, but since they're helping me, I don't really mind it. But unfortunately for me, that didn't really happen. Instead, what happened was Russia, Germany, and Austria having a defensive alliance, as well as Austria, Russia, and Ottoman Empire having a defensive alliance. Another alliance that was signed that I actually didn't notice was an defensive alliance between UK and France, and UK and Ottomans separately. Also, there was a lot of stuff in USA, actually Americas. USA is still continuing to grow. They have sick Jamaica. I'll show that in the next, when I switch to the next save. Anyway, there was expected a huge move by Brazil, Gran Colombia, Argentina, and Chile against USA. That didn't really happen because Gran Colombia player wasn't there, so unfortunately that is either delayed or isn't happening anymore. In any case, so what happened during the session, once I saw it, Germany, Austria, and Russia allying, I thought, well, Germany is just attacking France and they'll take Alsace-Lorraine and the rest of their course. Actually, they don't really have any course left, but maybe one more state of France, or Austria is taking Piedmont from me or something. Tunis maybe. I don't know. But then, I think one day before the session, Germany allied France defensively, was it an alliance? I think it was a defensive alliance. Maybe it was just a non-aggression pact. In any case, that really blew my mind, because what is Germany going to do if they're allied to basically all of their neighbors? I think they were also allied to Scandinavia, so why would they do that? The only conclusion that I could make was that, oh well, they want to attack Netherlands for Java. Like, that's the only only reason why they would make such sort of alliances. Well, that didn't happen, and instead what they tried to do was attacking me for Sicily. Now, I really didn't expect that move, because why would they do that? That makes no sense. So, what I did was, Germany paused the game for declaration of war. They declared war on me, and then the guy playing Germany had to go AFK for a minute or two. In those 2 minutes, Austria and Russia didn't decide to join Germany in their war, which I was really surprised with, because Russia at that time, I think they had troops in Manchuria or Afghanistan fighting some wars here. And during that pause I figured, well, if they're not declaring war on me, I'm afraid that they might join Germany in that war at any point, which would be devastating. So I figured, well, why don't I just attack them instead? While fighting a war with Germany, I can always surrender to Germany and fight only Austria and Russia. Now again, that also didn't really work out the way I wanted to, because what happened then is Germany... Okay, I surrendered for Sicily against Germany. I gave them that. Attacked Austria, destroyed most of the Austrian troops, although they got some time to fall back because of the German troops spawning into my territories because they got Sicily. Doesn't really matter. But then what happened was Germany, France initially didn't join the war against Germany. So Germany didn't have a truce with France. And Germany attacked France right away. I decided to join that war, so I was actually at that point again against Germany, Austria and Russia again. So that's like 2 or 3 months after the war for Sicily, which actually wasn't ever fought because I just surrendered. And for some reason, UK joined France because they had a defensive pact. And for some reason, Germany decided to surrender that war. They didn't even try to fight it. I don't know. Were they afraid that they would lose some territories? Or they figured, well, without Belgium in that war, they can't really hurt France because France has superior defensive positioning? Or whatever. I'm not really sure what happened there. But anyway, Austria and Russia didn't really have any troops in Austrian lands, so it was really an easy task to defeat Austrians. Also with the help of Spain and Switzerland. Well, Switzerland not really that much, but Spain was a serious threat to consider because they actually have a lot of troops. And I think even without France, I think Spain and Italy can handle Austria and Russia easily. Well, at this point. Oh, by the way, I think I forgot to mention that I formed Italy in, what was it, 2 years since the beginning of the session, so 1847, which is an okay timing. It happened via rebellion in Papal States. They already were at high militancy, but I also helped by attacking them to speed it up. Anyway, this is the current situation. Let me just load the map. So, Austria decided, well, we can't really win that war, and they really couldn't. So they just peaced out for losing Lombardia and Venice, also losing Zululand to France, and I think Russia in that war lost Somaliland to Spain. So, let me load a save. I want to talk about the situation right now. Anyway, some people, including mostly Austria, think that they see me piecing out, well, that bell plans, piecing out against Germany and declaring war on them as abuse, but I'm not sure, like, from their point of view, maybe it seems like an abuse, but they had 2 chances to fight a 3-way war against me. So first of all, they could have joined, they had more than enough time to join Germany against me. They didn't join, so I declared war on them. Germany declared war on France, so that means Germany at that point could fight the freeway. Well, they could fight the freeway war against me. They decided not to, so I really don't see how is that my fault. But anyway, also as you can see, still Germany holds Sicily because France, I don't know why, agreed to white peace against Germany, even though we had a huge advantage there, I think. But doesn't really matter. Anyway, what happened next was that Sicilian rebels spawned in Sicily and freed Sicily from Germany, and now I'm fighting a war against two Sicilies to annex them because I have casus belli for what's it called? Restore order. There we go. Anyway, so what we have, it's quite a complicated situation in Europe right now because Austria is basically that country. They're very, very weak at the moment. They did manage to form Austria-Hungary, but it's really not helping them. They invested a lot into preventing me from forming Italy, and also they invested a lot in those wars, and nothing really paid off. They also got some colonies here, Zululand, and Austria-Hungary, Siam. Terrible, but okay. UK allowed that. I'm not sure why, but I really couldn't really care less about that. So I don't think Austria is in great shape. Germany is in okay shape. I think that previous session was the best one for them. Like, they could have made so much gains from the previous session, and they failed to capitalize on that. The way they allied and they fought wars was really, really terrible and humiliating, to be honest. So they basically lost two wars. They fought a war against me. Yes, they kind of won it, but then they lost a territory. They lost an offensive war against France. France could have fought them. They decided not to and given them white peace. Whatever, their decision. I would fight Germany because I think they deserve to be punished for bad decisions they made, but okay, their decision. So now we have also Russia. I think Russia isn't actually that weak because even though they lost some course against Germany, they still made some decent gains in Asia, and I'm not sure if anyone is willing to attack them there. Manchuria is in their sphere. This is probably a fake war. They're in okay state at the moment. The real powerhouses in Europe at the moment are, I think, Ottoman Empire #1. Perhaps Germany #2 still, even though, as I said, they lost their potential to be a superpower here. I think it's fair to say that Italy is extremely strong right now. And I couldn't really assess the state of France and UK at the moment. I think UK is doing okay. They secured India, and overall they have a very strong position in Asia. I don't think anyone will be able to hurt them there. Also, through treaties, they secured to have a lot of impact in African colonization, so I don't really see a way to hurt them. So they'll have to be 3 or 4 powers in Europe. So UK, German Empire, Italy, and Ottoman Empire. Russia, I don't think they're actually that powerful at the moment, but you always have to be worried about Russia, and you have to pay attention to what they're doing. Meanwhile, of course, in America, USA is growing steadily, and let me show you this one. So Jamaica has land, liberty, labor, and Gurren actually showed how that looks in 1874 once this one expires. Jamaica has almost 2 million population, so it's almost as good as Java, which is really scary, really scary, because America, with that amount of resources, they'll be unstoppable, really, and something needs to be done about that. So Brazil still growing. It's okay. I didn't really check their population. They have 2 millions. It's not a huge amount of population. Gran Colombia 1 million. They didn't really improve that much. Ottoman Africa, that's okay. But so as for the next moves, I'm not sure. I will try to set up some decent colonial outposts for later colonization later on, which happens in 10 years. So the colonization might start during the next session, although I really doubt it. It's 12 years until the colonization starts. Usually that would be happening in the third session, because we usually play 20 years a session. However, this one, due to more players than we usually do have, we usually have around 15, now we have 25. It's going a bit slower, and there were some issues between players. That is hopefully resolved, so I think with this session we'll play some 15 years, so the colonization will probably start, but it won't finish during the next session. So that's probably going to be the focus of the session. Now, there are a lot of weird treaties, mostly between the UK and USA, so USA, all of their territories that they gained through treaties from Brazil, don't know if they got anything from Argentina, but Brazil, Mexico, USCA, Spain, they agreed to not colonize Africa. Actually, what the treaty says, everything that USA colonize in Africa will be transferred to UK, and UK won't intervene in any of the USA wars over there. And I don't really like the treaty. I think it's not beneficial to anyone except USA, because USA, they can't play without Africa. Why? Because they can always expand into Asia, and no one is hurting USA. USA allowed to do whatever they want in the early game. I don't think that's a really good idea. And unfortunately, due to me being prevented from forming early on, I mean in the first session, it will be really hard to stop them right now. I actually planned to stop USA in the early wars, but now they actually have an advantage, and it'll be very hard. I actually don't think it's worth for me to commit there, and I'll probably leave UK and France to perhaps deal with USA if they decide to do that. Meanwhile, I also have to watch on the Austrian front. I'm not sure if I want to sign a non-aggression pact with Austria. Before the previous session, I offered non-aggression pact to Austria and exchange Lombardia for Tunisia, or Tunis. They rejected initially. They didn't want to trade Lombardia, so I was thinking again, and I decided to, okay, well, I'll give up Lombardia. I won't claim it in this session. I just let them have it. But they agreed to a non-aggression pact and not to intervene into me forming Italy. Now, that was also refused, and what they offered was just a non-aggression pact without any obligations to not intervening into any rebellion kind of forming Italy or anything. So that would mean they could, if I was a great power, they could sphere Italian states, they could ban me and prevent me that way from forming Italy. So I just decided, well, I'm not signing something that is detrimental to me, so let's just go and see what happens. So that way I risked a freeway war against Germany, Austria and Russia at the same time, but that didn't really pay off for them. And I think I'm in a very strong position right now. I would like to establish a permanent alliance with Spain, because they actually have a decent military and we don't have any issues between ourselves. They really can't get anything from my land, I can't get anything from them. So I think that alliance would be beneficial for both countries. Not sure what I'm gonna do with France. We fulfilled the treaty that we initially had, so they got Nice, they got Savoy. That's what they wanted from me, and I'm not sure like what they want to do now. They signed a non-aggression pact with Austria, which probably means I won't be going into any wars with Austria if I don't have to. What I would like to offer them is that I get South Tyrol and that we make some sort of permanent non-aggression agreement or maybe an alliance. But I think they are going to refuse it, which probably isn't the best choice for them, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll probably be recording next sessions, which should be interesting because I think the diplomacy will be completely different